I hope you guys are having a nice Friday so far. Thus Farley. Chris Farley. Okay. Let's see. All right. Any questions? Let's say I'm going to wave to all you people. What's up, Robert? Wave, 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 wave. What's up, Crystal? What's up, Ace of Clubs Golf?
Ow.
Ooh, speaking of golf, my golf clubs are in the back of my car, and I'm going to start playing soon.
My golf clubs be popping. My golf clubs be cool.
They are popping. Hopefully they... Okay, here's my swing. I'm about to hit you in the
it's
thing.
a worm burner.
A worm burner. Do any of you know what a worm burner is? If you do, I'll trip out. If you do, free counseling for life. No, just kidding.
Will you plug this in also?
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Come on, people. Who knows what a worm burner is?
It's a golfing term that only professionals use.
A worm burner. Are you kidding me? 4. What's up, Ken?
Oh.
What's up, K-Man?
Okay. Check.
Not a clue. You play golf?
It's when you hit the golf ball really fast but low, and it's burning them worms as it zips.
When you hit the top of the ball and it just goes, get the ball off the ground. That's right.
Okay.
Check. Hello.
The review of the day is on that sticky note. There.
Hold on.
And let's.
Oh, okay. Hold on. That'd be fun.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get this.
That's a good point, Christina.
Aguilera.
Okay. I'll do mine since Melanie has left. So Christina says, so random, but would love to hear the stories behind your guys' tattoos if you haven't already shared that before. Love hearing the stories behind them and just curious.
We do have an episode about it.
I think we do have
an
episode.
Yeah, we have a whole episode about it.
A whole episode?
Yeah, go on our website and search tattoos, and you will find an episode about it.
Oh, okay. Well,
now
she has to do more work. I just wanted to talk about them. But yeah, we did talk about them. Oh no, and since then, probably got a new one. So this one says Mariner, Tough, and Hattie. Obviously, that's
and
our
then
kids.
mine is this. It's really hard to show this one. That's my newest one.
It's like
It's like pinky swearing, but not cursing. Pinky cursing.
Pinky cursing. There you go. Let's see. I'm anti-golf. Rather do anything else.
I golfed. We went golfing one time, and I hurt my back because we golfed. Do you remember that? Like it was terrible.
Yeah, you had to go to the chiropractor.
It was terrible. I'm not good at golf. I hurt my back because I was hitting the ground constantly as hard as I could.
Well, yeah. Hey, Tough Tiff. I'm glad you caught us live. We do it every single Monday through Friday, mostly.
All right.
At 7 a.m. PST. Okay.
What are you looking at? Popular science time?
Yeah. I'm thinking what I was thankful for yesterday.
I'm thankful for these guns.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy.
Look at that. I'm like Popeye.
Brad, you broke a club.
Broke a club? Oh, my god.
You know what? I've done that before. I was teeing off, and the club head went flying off. And it wasn't my club either.
Uh-oh, Kenan said he didn't buy the tickets. Oh yeah, all those green smoothies, that's right. Ouch. Okay, let's start. Ready? Are you ready to go?
Yep.
Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Good morning, my name is Seth Studley. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and today is day 19 of the 100 days of AOM Q&A.
If you're new here, welcome. We have over 200 episodes on all sorts of marriage topics. Go look through our archives. You can go search things on our website. But we're here for you because marriage is sometimes not simple.
Yeah,
welcome.
It's definitely not. And we do 4 things every day. But before I tell you about the 4 things, go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage to get a 100% free ebook.
Audiobook. It's an audiobook. It's not an ebook. These are different things. I adore you, but it is
it's an a-book.
An ebook. Go get your free audiobook at what it is it?
Audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage. Good gracious, we're going to lose a sponsor. Okay, well, it's not even a sponsor. We just get money from it. So that's hilarious. Okay, but every time we do 4 things. We pray, we share past gratitude because gratitude changes our brains and changes our hearts. And we do a review of the day, and also we answer your questions. And we're live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook, and we take live questions, kind of an AMA style, and then you can listen to it later on the podcast. So, why don't you pray today? I think I prayed yesterday.
Dear God, help us be able to speak normally and not trip over our words. Help us to have an amazing day and be like Captain Marvel in all we do. Amen. I feel like a superhero today.
You do? Why?
I do. I just do.
That's good.
I want to fly into the universe and feel great. So what are you gratitude for? What are you thankful for?
I was going to think of mine while you were telling me yours.
I can't think of one.
Nothing?
Honestly.
You're not thankful?
Actually, you know what I'm thankful for? We had a very long conversation the other night, which you called a fight, which I'm not thankful for that. I don't like it when you call conversations fights. But
it was heated. Big time.
You were heated, but you didn't stay heated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The show is over.
Sometimes it's actually hard to think of things that you're thankful for. Like I do
when you've done it like 500 days in a row.
Well, yeah, I think, but even in that in itself, there's always something to be thankful for. And this morning in my gratitude journal, or just writing, I was like, I'm feeling weird, kind of like, and what am I thankful for? I was like, I don't know, nothing's good. But I was like, wait a minute, that's
feelings
stupid.
Are fickle. Let's get past that.
That's goofy. Yeah. And I was thankful for my health, your health, the kids, the opportunities. I have a wife. I have kids. People don't have those things. Mm-hmm. People have lost those things, so I have them. So
wonderful. High five to
you can't be impatient when I'm doing thankfulness.
I'm not impatient. I love it.
You did this.
I listen to audiobooks on 1.5 speed. Oh. Kick it up.
Okay. Hey, Holland Notes. How about some free tattoos?
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Review of the day. 5 stars from Cozy in Ohio. Hello, my friend. Which I thought it was Cozy in Ohio. That's the first time she's like, I live in Ohio. I was like, I'm an idiot. An overdue review. This podcast is the real deal. This podcast explores not only the challenges of communication within marriage, but the biological, psychological, spiritual aspects of just being plain human and in relationship with others. Seth and Melanie don't brush their differences under the rug and even occasionally argue live on the show, which tells their listeners they are open and vulnerable for the right reasons. I work alone in my profession and feel as though these two are keeping me company Monday through Friday, helping me grow as a person and providing wisdom and knowledge I can later digest with my husband. Keep being raw and real.
Nice.
Thank you, Cozy in Ohio.
Cozy in Ohio.
Right. Thank you very much. Your reviews really do matter. It matters a lot. Mostly it makes us feel good. It gives us encouragement, and the non-5-star reviews help us to tweak the show to better serve you.
We read every single one of them. Mm-hmm. So the first question that we have is regarding yesterday's episode, and it says, I loved yesterday's show. I'm a very visual person, so I really like the analogies. Here's my question. Regarding the arm analogy, what if I'm doing all the forearm stuff, even without the expectation of getting sex out of it, and my wife is still rejecting me every time? I should mention it has been over a year since we last had sex. Before that, it was over 3 years. So thank you for sharing that, and that gave me tons of ideas. Can I say my ideas?
Yep, I was going to say, first? I know that you had some ideas because you said earlier, so go for it.
Well, I read that, and thank you again for sharing it, and I sat down and I was like doodling out things, because what I was imagining was that, we use this forearm analogy, forearm and hand analogy that like, you'll hold your arm up again. So it's like, the forearm is sort of, a type of connecting, and then sex is over here. So the forearm is like foreplay almost. And then this part is actual...
Chore play. You coined the term chore play.
I did not coin that. Kenan, I think, said it.
Oh, good job.
But then the hand part is like the intercourse part, right? And then the more I thought about it after this question, I was like, wait, people are like 2 islands, and sex is like a bridge between them. And like my side of the bridge is not the same as your side of the bridge. Your side might just, you said you're always thinking about the intercourse side, and I'm always thinking about the foreplay side or the connection side. And so those, like, here, now hold your arm up, and when those, your side and my side meet, they are a bridge, right?
No, we pound it.
They are the way that we can actually connect and reach one another.
Right.
And I got to thinking about it, because I think when people are, and I'm speaking for my own experience here, when people have a distorted view of sex, which the majority of people do have a distorted view of sex, either from things like culture and pornography or whatever, or abuse or neglect of learning about sex or shame, all of those things. When you have a distorted view of sex, and it's typically women that have this sort of distorted view of sex that is even harder for men, because you're often thinking of intercourse, I'm not thinking of intercourse, and women are typically objectified more. So we have a different perception of sex. Something that's sexy to you is objectifying and scary to us. It can be. So we have to understand that we're different islands, we see things differently, but when someone is looking at sex and intimacy from a lens of hurt, they do not hear the like, oh, sex is connection. Sex is positive, like loving, biopsychosocial, spiritual, it's healthy. They see threat. Like you are in, it's like that islanders that kill people who visit them. You know what I'm talking about? Like the people who are like super isolated and they just see everyone as a threat. Every person, doesn't matter if you're bringing me food, get out, you are a threat. And so often, so many people are like that. So many women, I think in particular, they're hurt. They're guarding themselves. And then you have like a sex positive person like Tina Shermer Sellers, who's doing a great job saying, no, sex is good, it's great. And all they see is threat, threat, threat. Right? So I want to use, I don't know, I needed to say all that first. I think it's important to kind of get that out.
I think that is probably a better perspective than what I was going to say, because I would come at it from a therapist point of view, and I always love it when you give that perspective, and we couldn't have it if if it wasn't both of us doing the show. And I think, okay, let's just use our own lives again. I think that I was fairly sex positive always. It's like, and we've talked about this, like, growing up in the South, you always went swimming, you only wear shorts in the summer, you don't care.
You mean bodies, you did, not me.
Well, yeah, like growing up, like every lady wore a bikini and dudes just wore shorts. It doesn't,
you were body positive,
matter,
not
right?
that, just body positive.
Just body positive, right? And of course, sex was a part of that, right? And then coming in where it was different culture, obviously Seattle culture. You're a female, so you're going to think differently about it. And we honestly, I wish that, we still have a lot of work to do around that, because I would absolutely love to just be completely sex positive, like, oh yeah, whatever.
I have a lot to say about that, but I want to say, Kenan wrote, yes, I just want to worship her body, but I have been told it is too objectifying. So yes, there is, so it's like, the best example I can think of is like when a dog has been injured. Like we tried to buy a dog, we bought a dog that had been abused in the past, we didn't know. And that dog treated us like the abusers. Every freaking day, we literally gave the dog back. We couldn't even, it would have taken every effort in our life to make that dog almost normal. And it probably still would have never been normal. So it cowered from us, it hid from us, it went in the corner, it yelped all the time, and it was like, we are not hurting you. And so I think that that's what happens, and what is happening when, especially with, and I'm like really generally saying here, but when, this is my experience too, as a woman, I was objectified since the time I was like 12. Men would, say comments about my body when I'm walking in the grocery store with my mom. And so that objectification makes you look at sex and intimacy as a threat. Right? No matter how nice you are about it, how body positive you are, you can't step into my experience of sexuality and be like, well, let's just have sex more. I mean, I love you. It's the bridge. It's the blah. Like, but also at the same exact time, if I don't realize that I am, so do the bridge analogy thing again with your hands. So we, my hand, your hand makes the bridge together. I don't realize I've like retracted my side, like I've put my side of the bridge up, and then, but I'm over here going, what? If you want sex, get it. But my bridge is up. He can't. He cannot. Right?
Okay, so here's another analogy that I have experienced myself and also deal with a lot. So and I'm going to try my best to kind of break it down. But okay, so everybody's talking about social justice and equality and stuff, right? And a lot of, so being a male and not being objectified like a woman has, and not having that experience, I have like, oh well, let's just do this, you know. But that is the wrong perspective, and I would analogize that to a non-native person or a non-minority person, or okay, let's just say white people reaching out to other
thinking
minority
they have all the
communities,
answers for everybody
saying,
else.
I just want to help you. And I've experienced this a million times. So being part native, and Melanie's part native too, and I've been working in Indian country for like 15 years. A lot of times, and when I do presentations and stuff, non-native people say, "Oh, your presentation was so, and I just feel so bad in this. What can I do?" I'm like, it is not my job to educate you about historical trauma, intergenerational trauma, minority populations, all this stuff, right? So it is also not your wife's job, because historically there's been a power differential between men and women. Women have been objectified. So it's not your job to educate me on I don't know if
I know
maybe
what
this
you
is just
mean,
totally, I don't think it's out of left field.
No,
I'm
it's
just not
not.
doing good
No, it's okay.
explanation.
I want to say something that Kenan said though. So Kenan said he wants to like worship his wife's body, right? Here's the thing. I would say, yes, do that. But first, ask your wife. Say it just like this. I love you so much. How can I worship your body? You are a goddess, and I want you to know that you are amazing. How can I do that for you? And for the first 15 times, she's not going to know. She's going to feel weird. She's going to feel blah, 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 blah. She's going to feel all those things.
It has to be
Nope,
on
don't you dare
her
talk.
terms.
And it's something she has to learn. It is not something that we learn. Sex is very rarely safe sometimes for women. And I don't mean, that sounds like kind of too much when I just said that, but I don't think it is. So
I don't understand.
You wouldn't, right? So when you approach me and you say, I just want sex, I immediately think of 15 reasons that might be painful. When is that going to happen? There's kids got to go to bed. Like I have you say sex, and all of a sudden a laundry list, like a to-do list shoots down. And I have to go, this, and
so
this,
that's
and
where
this,
the work
that.
on my part. I mean, I don't ever just say, "Hey, I want sex."
If you did, I wouldn't be married to you.
Right, but it is my part to do the foreplay beforehand and listen to her and ask her what she's saying. Like, okay, a non-native person. It's not my job to educate a non-native person. Sure, if they are respectful and have questions and stuff, you know. But if they come up and say, "Oh man, you're part native," it happened yesterday.
Don't be unkind.
I'm not being unkind. So a lady saw my tattoo, it says Catawba Indian Nation, and she was like, "Is that you?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Is this you? This on my arm?" I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "Do you partake?" And I was like, "What?" I didn't say what. I was like, "Partake?" I was like, "Yeah, culturally, it's a part of, you know, it's part of what I do." But she's like, "Partake in what?" You know, it's like was she asking me if I smoke weed? Like, do you partake? The dude abides. You know, what movie is that? I don't remember what movie it is, but it was the weirdest question. And so it's not my job, or it's not your wife's job to do that. I hope we're not coming out of left field here. Or
oh my gosh, someone wrote something funny. It's really funny. Men think that they are adoring women. Ask women how they want to be worshipped, because a boob honk in the kitchen is not adoration.
Okay, I'll tell you the truth.
A boob honk, that is the funniest word.
Well, that is absolutely true, and I used to do that all the time, and it
doesn't work.
You just dealt with it for a long time, but then I realized, like, oh, that's not respect. Big Lebowski, that's right.
That's what it is.
That's
Big
not
Lebowski.
Respectful. Okay, so let's see. I'm thankful people are having this conversation. It's just difficult when we won't work through it unless we talk about it. That's exactamundo.
Yeah, someone else wrote, it's sometimes difficult to show that you want her and not objectify her.
Yeah, that is, because sometimes I'm just like, oh my goodness, my body or whatever is just like it's like needing food.
Okay, but listen to this. So when you have said, like, you've given me the signal, I would desire sex in the near future, and
is that how I say?
I'm just saying, you've given me the signal, but then now like immediately a laundry list goes when that happens. So one way that you can get what you want is, don't look at me, look at the laundry list. Look at the laundry list.
Right.
How can you address those things? Because those are a part my sexual experience. Those are things that impact it,
Right.
that affect it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's I want to read one more question, and it
Okay,
relates
you
to
guys
this
are
question.
blowing up
sort
the
of.
comments here, which is
know.
awesome. So, okay, we're going to do one more question, then we'll go to people's comments. What are you doing?
I just tried to scroll up.
Okay.
Okay.
Big Lebowski. Yep, again. Okay, you ready this time?
What do you do when you mutually agree that it feels like you have exhausted all options and resources to make the marriage better and work, and it feels like it's just not working? We've been in therapy for nearing 2 years now. We've learned so much about ourselves, our marriage, and how to communicate, but we still don't have the marriage we want. Is this about managing expectations? We both agree divorce is not an option, but for me?
No, but for me,
Oh.
it's just because I don't want to separate my family, not necessarily for the marriage itself. Thanks for reading.
Okay. Now I'm going to say right away.
You said first last time.
I have so many ideas about these questions. I've
All right.
wrote stuff about them, and I've been thinking about it a lot. So one of the things that I'm hearing you say is, so I wrote it down. It says, instead of seeing your marriage as a broken and exhausted thing, I challenge you to envision what it would look like to take it and turn it into something revived and something new. So, and this is an idea I learned from Mel Robbins, the book I'm reading right now, and from Joyce Meyer. But it says, nothing can be resurrected unless it is crucified. Now, let me explain that. So nothing can be reborn unless it dies, like a phoenix, like Fox in Harry Potter. Like, he has to burn and crumble before he becomes another bird. And I don't mean you get a divorce. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you look at this, you're saying, gosh, our marriage just feels crappy. We've been in therapy for 2 years and blah, 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 blah. Now is the time when you go, okay, that's last year's chapter. That's the old marriage that we had. Now, instead of saying, oh, it's just bad, how can we make it better? We've tried everything. Now you say, we're going to turn a page. We're going to start a whole new chapter of the same marriage, and it's going to look completely different.
And things that you were doing before, you don't do those things anymore. You take care of the kids, you do all this stuff, but you communicate differently. If you're still having sex,
Yes,
I'm not sure.
You can have a second marriage within your same marriage. Yes.
Esther Perel talks about this in her book.
Ooh,
I haven't read it, but I loved her podcast. It's awesome. One of my clinical supervisors a long time ago would give this advice. When you think that you've done everything, when you've tried your hardest, when you've dug down so deep, dig deeper. Like, dig deeper. Like, when you think you've exhausted everything, you actually haven't. Dig deeper. It's like I talk about in the David Goggins book. He talks about how we think our 60% is our 100%.
What is that? Can't Hurt Me?
Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. We think our 60% is our 100%, but in reality, we have 40% left in the tank. And, okay, I'm really good at giving advice and being a therapist and doing stuff, but sometimes I really suck at applying all this stuff. So I'm not just trying to give you advice and go, oh yeah, what?
I was nodding. I was being silly to the...
Oh, I see. And so sometimes I feel like a hypocrite in that, but it's like, I know how to teach math, but I can't do it. That's a weird analogy.
But let me say something really quickly, because when you start this new chapter, and I want to use this analogy, I can drive down the road, or I can walk down the road backwards, right? I can look backwards at where I've been, and I can walk backwards down the road. But I'm going to walk really slow. I might fall over. I might veer into the ditch accidentally like 100 times, but I can do it.
Focus on where you've been.
I can do it, right? Yeah, if I'm focusing on where I've been, where I came from. I don't want you to do that. I want you to turn around, look into the future that is going to be nothing like your past. It is not anything like where you've been, because you're going to have a new goal, a new trajectory, a new passion, a new enthusiasm and excitement. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to set goals. You're going to ask yourselves, what do you want? Not what did we have, what was bad. What do we want? We're going to envision this new chapter of our marriage. So in the new chapter of our marriage, maybe it's we don't watch TV 2 hours a night, because maybe that's a triggering thing that's really not helpful for your marriage. In this new chapter of our marriage, we don't eat out every day. I don't know what it is, the things are for your marriage. In this new chapter, we try to have like really amazing sex twice a month. Like we devote a day to it, or a half of a day to, that is the day that we do this thing, right? And so in this new chapter, you're putting to bed the things that you don't want, but you're not staring at them. Like you're not going, oh, those things that were so bad, how do we get past this? And you're just staring at it.
So there's this saying, don't look back, that's not the way you're going.
Ooh,
kind of thing.
Like that.
And yeah, I like it. Like I said, I have a lot of quips and stuff, and it's really hard to implement those.
Hold on, but it ties, I want to say this though too. It ties to the first question. about having not had sex for a year. Because one of the problems in that question, one of the complicated things in that, is you're saying, gosh, this is what I've been through. This thing is the thing I've been through. I'm so sad about it. I don't know what to do. I'm trying so hard. So when you have this conversation with your wife, when you say, let's start a new chapter, and you say, what do we need to step into this new space of being together? And you say what you want. Because I notice when we argue, you almost never say what you want.
That's true.
And I ask you over and over and over, I say, I hear that you're hurt. I apologize for the thing I've done. I know that wasn't right, or I know that it frustrated you. What do you want?
Sometimes when I'm flooded, I can't think of what I want. So it's just like I have this quiver of arrows shooting.
Yeah, and so that's why we don't want to get to the point where we're flooded, and we can control all of that stuff. In our new chapter of our marriage, we're going to. So we're going to talk about this in a way that we've never talked about it before. Not when we're going to be intimate. We're going to talk about it at a different time.
Right. Tony Robbins talks about if you want to change something, sometimes you have to take massive action, and therapy once a week is not massive action. Like sometimes I say that with clients that I've had for a long time. I was like, how can I expect change when they're spending 45, 50 minutes with me one time a week? That's okay, but it has to be, you have to supplement that with other things. Community, Facebook groups, audiobooks, podcasts, I don't know, shooting emails to us and asking us questions.
Engaging thoughtfulness.
What you focus on will expand. That's right. So Melanie, the analogy of walking backwards, I'm focusing on back here. My back is turned to the camera right now. I'm focusing where I've been, how it's been, not where I'm going, right? So if I focus on a forward looking thing, I'm moving forward. So, okay, where focus goes, energy flows. Boom! You're my people.
And the other thing too I wanted to say is like, with the top question, how do we have sex more than one time a year? It kind of goes back to like what the question of how do I adore my wife's body? I don't know how, and is it objectifying? We have to reframe and re-understand what intimacy is, what our goals are, and how we achieve them. And oftentimes, we are so like one side. It's like we have blinders on, like a horse. Like we're not addressing and looking at the entire global picture of our relationship, our personalities, our personal experiences, and those blinders literally stop us from connecting. It's like if Seth and I are standing right next to each other and I have blinders on, I don't even know he's there, right? And so we have to really remove these things, think really critically about the differences and how to fix them and how to approach it. And maybe you have a conversation where you say, hey honey, I've just noticed we haven't had sex for a year and I would love to start having more sex. How can we do that? How could I honor you in that? What would make you what would make you feel really safe and loved if we could do that, right? So start asking different questions, not how can I would like to have sex, not that you're doing that. I don't think that you're doing that.
A good book for the one guy may be Come As You Are.
The one guy?
For the guy that
the question?
Said, every time about not having sex for a year. Learn about your wife's body. A book, Emily Nagoski, Come As You Are. It's a really good book. So one person says, hold on. I'm finally able to enjoy you. Hello from Australia. Good day. Yeah. That's awesome. Where it's presently midnight. My fiance Jess and I love you too and have been so encouraged and inspired from your podcast over the past few years. That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Thank you for saying hello.
We will come to Australia if the church will pay for it.
Yeah. Or you.
Or you, sure. Right.
But I think that there's something to that. I was thinking about this the other day, and I just wanted to say it before I forgot. I think behind stuff like we only have sex once a year is pain. I think there's a lot of pain behind that. And I don't think that sex is the answer. I don't think more sex is the answer. The more sex isn't going to heal that. There's a pain that needs to be addressed. But it can be addressed in a loving way that feels inviting, safe, but often we go, something's wrong with you.
Right.
You need therapy. Go get therapy.
Yeah. But if the other things aren't addressed in that way, then connection and pleasure, i.e., sex, will be a byproduct of that.
I don't know if you said that right. I feel like that was confusing to me, but
no. Heal the pain, process that. Communicate all this stuff, and then sex will be after that. It's not sex, and then everything is downriver from that. So we're coming up on 25 minutes. What else? What other summary? What are we doing this weekend? Does anybody care? Does anybody know?
Oh, I don't know. Send in your questions, though, and we can answer more. We have a bunch still sort of in the queue there to answer anyway. But
keep them coming. Yeah. Keep on interacting on Instagram Live and also Facebook Live. One thing that we haven't said in a while, I want you guys to go to patreon.com/Anatomy of Marriage. to consider donating if this has been helpful, if this is a literal daily dose of quick marriage therapy every single morning. Please show us your appreciation and support by going to patreon.com/anatomy of marriage. Donate anything you want, $1, 50 cents, anything absolutely helps. So we appreciate all of our patrons that have done that, and we really, really appreciate it. No joke. So please
and our
consider
goal
that.
is to make this our career. So it would be awesome if you could support us in that goal. Another way you can support us is going to iTunes and leaving a rating and review, and we read them on the show, which is really fun, and it's really encouraging. So please go rate and review the show. That helps other people find us as well, to know that our show is like worth listening to and spending their day with us.
That's right. We mentioned a couple of books. Emily Nagoski, Come As You Are. Also anything Tony Robbins. You can get it for free at audibletrial.com/anatomy
The
of
David
marriage.
Goggins one.
David Goggins, that's right.
Mel Robbins, I've just finished her third book, and all of them are phenomenal. The woman cusses like a sailor, but it's really amazing.
I love it. Feisty.
And yes, so check out any Mel Robbins book. Go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage to get a free audiobook on us.
All right.
And have an amazing day. Thank you so much for hanging out and for your questions. I can't wait to answer more tomorrow.
Saturday?
Yeah. You never want to do it on the weekends, and I kind of do. So
All right.
maybe we'll do it. All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Because you're here, still here, the podcast is turned off. Extra stuff. See, the podcast doesn't get stuff like this. 3, 2, 1.
My legs are crossed. I about fell over. Orange Justice. You're not even in the camera. You didn't know that was going to
Anyway, thanks, Rachel, Lily, Aaron, Brad, Mama in the Wild, Kirsten, Kenan,
Dunst.
for talking. Kirsten Dunst, yeah. The Batman movie. No, Spider-Man movie. So, all right, guys.
Good morning, you guys. Or midnight if it's Australia.
Yeah, midnight. Sheesh. So, all right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
The podcast so missed out. I know, right? They don't get the audio and the visual, so
They get the audio, you weirdo. That's all they get.
not the after audio.
Oh.
Anyway, all right. Bye, guys. Let's see. Finish.